I'm Anil Kumar. Let me thank all the viewers and subscribers for watching my videos, taking keen interest, and sharing some questions. Here is a question from one of our subscribers. This question has been taken from the textbook Advanced Functions Nelson, page 428, question 12. Let us see how to solve such problems. The height in meters of a nail in water wheel above the surface of the water as a function of time can be modeled by the function h of t equals to minus 4 sine pi by 4 t minus 1 plus 2.5, where t is time in seconds. During what period of time is the nail below the water in the first 24 seconds that the wheel is rotating? You can always pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. Now, from the given equation, we can find the time period. So let's find time first. So time, we are working with radians. Whenever you see pi, we are working with radians. So time period will be 2 pi divided by the k value, which is pi by 4, correct? Pi by 4. So that gives you time period of 8 seconds. The question is, during what period of time is the nail below the water in the first 24 seconds? That means we have to consider 24 seconds means 3 cycles. That is very important to understand, right? So 3 cycles, and each cycle has a time period of 8 seconds, right? 8 seconds. Perfect. So that is how it is. And now let's try to see how to figure out the answer. Okay, let me sketch the scenario. So whenever we talk about sine waves, and this is negative, means instead of going upwards, it goes like downwards, right? So let me just sketch one here. So it goes kind of like this. Does it make sense to you, right? So that is how it is going to be, right? So we'll just go like this. Okay. Now, there is a phase shift, right, which is 1 unit to the right, correct? So let me say this is the axis. See, the method which I am showing you is a very easy way of sketching. So 1 unit to the right, we know the time period is one full cycle is of 8 seconds, but starts from 1, right? So this is shifted 1 unit to the right. So we'll say, let us say our y-axis somewhere here. Now, the center point here is at 2.5. This is the axis, right? 2.5. The amplitude is 4. So when you add 2.5 and 4, the maximum will be at 4 plus 2.5 will be 6.5, right? And below, it will go up to which place? 2.5 minus 4 means 1.5 with a negative sign, right? So let us say somewhere here is my x-axis. Okay. So when we say below the water, that means we are looking for these points. That is these points. Is that clear? We want to find these points. And 3 cycles. So this is first cycle, right? So this is second cycle and so on. So we'll see 3 cycles. So what I have shown you here is 1 cycle, correct? So 1 cycle starts from this point is basically starting with 1, correct? And if I add 8, then it ends here at 9, correct? At 9. So that happens. That is the situation. Okay. Now, we will find zeros of this. So we have to find when is this function 0. First we find these points, and then in between points. So we write 0 equals to minus 4 sine of pi by 4 t minus 1 plus 2.5. Now this diagram is good to sketch, but it is not necessary. All right. Now let's see how to solve this. So we'll take this on the left side. We get 4 sine pi by 4 t minus 1 equals to 2.5, which gives us sine pi by 4 t minus 1 equals to 2.5 divided by 4, right? So let's use calculator. 2.5 divided by 4 is equals to 0.625. So let us say this is theta, right? So which is pi by 4, t minus 1 will be equals to sine inverse of 0.625. Now 625 is definitely a positive quantity. Now the setting should be in radians. So first thing is check. So let's check whether we are in radians or not. Let's make it radians. Now we'll do sine inverse of 0.625. So we get some value which is equal to 0.67513. Okay, 5 decimals, that's enough. Now from here we need to find what t is, correct? So let's now find what t is. So let me use this part of the page. We'll go in steps. So t minus 1 can be equal to, we'll multiply by 4 over pi this number, which is 0.67513, right? So we already have this number here. We'll times it with 4 and divide by pi. It gives us t minus 1 equals to 0.8596. So t is equals to 1.8596. Is that clear to you? Right? So we get our first point, which is in this particular case 1.8596. Okay, that's what we get, right? So we got this point, which is 1.8596. Now remember one thing, we are talking about sine wave, right? And we have a positive value here, this, correct? So we'll get two angles, one in quadrant 1, the second one in quadrant 2, right? So those are the two angles. So we got one angle, which is this one. Let's call this as alpha, correct? So the other angle will be this much, correct? Which is pi minus alpha. Is that okay? So that is one solution. So what is the other angle? The other angle should be pi minus alpha. So we'll also write this as or, rather it should be and, right? In the first cycle, we also have pi by 4, t minus 1 equals to pi minus this angle, 0.67513, correct? So let's do how much it is. So we have pi minus 0.67513 equals to, we got 2.466. Let me write down here, which is 2.4664. Is it okay? Right. So we found one value. Now, to find this point, let me write down here, t minus 1 will be equal to 4 over pi times this value, which is 2.4664, correct? Let's calculate this. So we already have this 2.4664. We'll multiply this by pi. Sorry, we multiply this by 4 and then divide by pi. And what we get here is 3.14, correct? So what we get is that t minus 1 is 3.14. So t should be equal to 1 plus 3.14, which is 4.14, correct? So we get the second point, which gives us a value 4.14, correct? Now that is how we actually get our, in one cycle, we are going to get these points, right? Sorry, this 9 should have been started from here, 9 should have been here, right? This is the second cycle. So in the first cycle, this is first cycle. We get 2 points, that is to say, the value for which the interval for which the nail is below water is what? So nail is below water, so we get the time will be between 1.8596 to 4.14, right? So this is the first cycle. Now in the second cycle, which is right there, so this is the second cycle, right? So first cycle is from here to there, correct? In the second cycle, we know time period is 8. So we'll add 8 to both the values. And similarly, we'll add 8 to the third set of values to get 3 cycles, right? So within 24 seconds. Is that clear to you, right? So when I add 8 to this, I get the other interval as 9 point, you can write this as 86 to 8 plus 4 is 12.14. And the third one will be adding 8 to 9 will be 17.86 to adding 8 to 20.14. Does it make sense to you? Definitely, this is less than 24 seconds. So these are the 3 intervals when a nail will be below the water, right? So if you continue, then the third cycle will be there. This is wrong. So 9 is here for first cycle. Is that clear to you, right? So that is how this question can be solved. So I hope the steps are absolutely clear. So there are many things which you should think about when solving such questions. And that is, one of the most important thing is that the sign value for any positive value will have 2 answers, one in quadrant 1, the other one is quadrant 2. And by adding the time period, we can get other periods during which the nail will be below the water. I hope that makes sense. Feel free to write your comment, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, it'd be great. Thanks for your time and all the best.